Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on plannerzoid. I got some products to show you today in all of a National Scrapbooking Day. I'm so excited because first off, I've never heard of this, so I'm like, oh wait, there's a National Scrapbooking Day? And also these products I've never heard of either, so I wanted to purchase them and give them a try. So let me know down below if you heard of the product called Pops of Color. I've purchased Pops of Color from scrapbooking.com, and honestly, I don't know. I just saw it and wanted to get it. And it's funny, when I bought it, it was sold out immediately after. So I'm like, I'm glad I snagged mine. So I purchased Pops of Color, which are these cute little bottles that you can use to just dabble some extra color on your cards, pretty much. That's pretty much it. It's pretty much just a scrapbooking embellishment element, honestly. That's what I got from it. These are not only great for adding just some additional pop and flair to any of your scrapbooking elements, they will also add texture as well. So that's really what made me get them, because I've been really getting into card making lately and I wanted to add more dimension and texture to my cards, and that's what these are really for, just adding some more texture and fun pops of color. So you get 8 bottles in the mail, and you also get a case that you can put your bottles in, which is what caught my eye, was the case. I thought it was simple but also cute because of the way the colors were displayed. So honestly, I do recommend these. I think they're so adorable and they were really easy to use. And on top of that, they have so many colors to choose from in different bundles. I purchased these from scrapbook.com. That's also how I found out about National Scrapbooking Day. So I was like, wait, what? That exists? So that's how I found out about that too. So definitely check out scrapbook.com because they're also giving out free items. Of course, you have to pay for shipping. And no, this is not sponsored in any way. I wish it was. This is my hard-earned money and just my love of crafts and me wanting to show you something. So this is how it looks in a case. You can store them upside down or right side up. For now, I'm just gonna put them right side up because I really want you guys to see these bottles. They are so cute. In addition to this video, I will also be just talking about 7 general tips for beginner scrapbooking and crafting. So anyone who's looking to get into it, I think these 7 tips will be great for you. They're pretty general tips, but I do think that they will be great for someone who's just starting. And no, you don't have to purchase these to start, obviously, but I really do think they'll add a little bit of flair to your cards if you do care about that kind of stuff. Before I get into the tips for scrapbooking and crafting, first I wanted to finish talking about this product. So Pops of Color is easy to use. However, I do think it takes a little bit of work. So I want you to keep that in mind in this video when I do show a demo of me using it in my project. I also have one additional color that I got as a freebie, so I can't wait to surprise you at the end. The project that I will be doing today for National Scrapbooking Day will be a card. I will be making a spring themed cherry blossom card. And while I'm making that card, I will be giving 7 general tips for scrapbooking and crafting. And I will be using a lot of different elements to pull this card together. So I'll be using die cuts, scrapbooking paper, textured and regular. And then I will also be using some of the pops of color, as well as different kinds of glues and tapes. So a lot of different kind of scrapbooking elements. And the card that I'm trying to go for is a cherry blossom spring themed card. And I do think it came out really cute. I can't wait till you guys see the end. So I will be using different die cut kits that I got from Amazon to help pull this together. So let's go ahead and get started with these tips. First off, what is scrapbooking? Like, what is it? I don't know if we all ever thought about that, but we know what it is, but like, what's the definition? So I went online, did a little research, and the definition that I got from the source, The Spruce Crafts: scrapbooking, a crafting and documenting activity, involves taking books with blank pages and adding photos, memorabilia, journaling, and embellishments. And then I also wanted to add an additional tidbit. What is crafting? Like, what exactly is crafting? So, crafting is the activity or hobby of making decorative articles by hand. That's from Oxford Dictionary. I know I'm getting all technical here, but if someone's trying to get into it, I want to like mention what it is, because crafting is a huge scope. There's so much you can do with crafting, and I really want to take the time to just break it down real quick. That's it. So basically, scrapbooking is a form of crafting, and it falls under the crafting umbrella. And the same applies to card making, which is what I'm doing in this video. I'm pretty much crafting, but card making can also be a form of scrapbooking if you want it to be. It really can. So I just wanted to first start with like, what is all this? What is this concept to begin with? I wanted to start with that first. So now let's go ahead and get into some of the tips. Tip number one: don't compare yourself to others, because honestly, it can get overwhelming and it can get discouraging. And who wants to be discouraged? I think nowadays, with all this mess going on, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to add another thing to your plate. And crafting and scrapbooking is one of those things that it shouldn't be that serious. It should be, fun, it should be enjoyable, and it should be quite an experience, honestly. Like, I really do think, because of how vast the scope of crafting is, is so much to it and it's so much to learn. And honestly, I don't think I can ever stop learning when it comes to that. So I recommend not to compare yourself to others. You can look at other people's stuff and get inspiration, of course, but don't go saying your stuff is ugly and this stuff look better than yours. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't believe in ugly crafts. I really don't. Because everyone is different, everyone learns differently, and everyone has different materials. Believe it or not, some people cannot afford some of these materials that some of these top crafters and scrapbookers have. Like, I don't even know how I got some of the stuff I got today from spending money and probably going into debt. That's what it is. So, my point is, don't compare yourself to others, because at the end of the day, you are a beginner. So, you have to start somewhere and you're learning. You will definitely get better over time if you're not happy with what you're starting with. But honestly, on my channel, I've been really putting out some craft ideas, and I think they have been easy. So if you're looking for more tutorial based stuff, let me know. Usually I do that and I just voice over what I'm doing. But sometimes I don't feel like doing that, because it's like, well, you guys see what I'm doing. Maybe you don't want to hear me talk over what exactly I'm doing. Maybe you want to hear something else. So I wanted to try something different and just, give some tips instead. But if you do have any questions about any of the items in my video or the concept or anything, just let me know down below and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. So yeah, let me know. So that's tip number one. Don't go comparing yourself to others. Don't do it. The next tip is, it's okay to make mistakes. It's all experimental anyway. So that's tip number two. Just to understand that it's okay to make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time, and honestly, I do one or two things. I try to cover it up, or I just redo it. So either way, whatever works for you, it's all like experimental. So just play around, see what you're good at, give it a try. And then once you find your strong suits, then you're able to learn more and expand upon that. You know what I'm saying? When I first started this channel, it was just planners. It was just putting stickers in a planner and doing different kinds of spreads. And then over time, I said I wanted to expand and learn more craft stuff, and you get exposed to seeing new things. It's just a lot, okay? So just treat it as it's an experiment. I'm trying something new. I just want to see what I'm good at and make this hobby really fun. And you're going to make mistakes along the way. That's okay, because in crafting, there's a way it can all be fixed. It really can. That's the beauty of crafting. If you mess up one thing, you could turn it into something else. You can redo it, or you can expand upon that and enhance it some kind of way. At least that's what I think. So that's tip number two. So tip number three, y'all, crafting, crafts, scrapbooking, whatever, can get really expensive. So I highly recommend that you set a budget and take advantage of the sales, because first off, when you get into it, it's going to be overwhelming. It's going to be a lot. And that's why I highly recommend trying to pick a niche first and then expand upon that. But that's neither here nor there. I'm talking about the money, okay? Because inflation, everything's going up in price. Everything's quite expensive. Now there are like budget sticker books and scrapbooking items. Always will be. Check out like your local Dollar Tree if you have to, because nowadays Dollar Tree is getting a lot of cute planner and craft stuff. So check them out. But I do recommend just trying to get things on sales with coupons and things like that, because it can add up and get expensive when you're trying to get into it, okay? The fourth tip that I recommend for beginner crafters and scrapbookers is to take advantage of kits. Kits typically come with everything you need to make a project. So for example, the die cuts that I showed at the very beginning of the video when I was, getting all the prep work to make these really pretty flowers for this card. I guess I can consider that a kit, but there's different kinds of kits. There's kits for stamping, kits for planners, kits for cards. A whole entire kit can literally help you put together a full project that you can gift to somebody, sell, do something. So I highly recommend starting with kits if you're not sure where exactly to start and you don't know the vision yet of what elements to put together to make your project. Plus, sometimes kits can cost a little bit of money, but they come with a lot of things, and you can reuse a lot of things in other projects as well. I love kits. The next tip that I want to share when it comes to beginners for crafting and scrapbooking is, honestly, I feel like this should have been the first tip, but that's okay. Research. I recommend researching because there's so much to it. It can get really overwhelming. So there's a lot of different kinds of papers, glues, tapes. It can be a lot, but I highly recommend you look into it rather than, wasting your money. And I learned over time by researching that, different things work differently. Like, for example, the glue that I just showed is Aleene's Tacky Glue. You cannot use this glue in every project, in my opinion. And other kinds of projects, a different kind of glue might do better. And I'm talking in regards to scrapbooking and paper crafts mostly. But obviously, if you're doing fabric or woodworking, you would use a completely different type of glue than what I have in the video. So I highly recommend you do your research. Elmer's school glue will not work for every project, but it does work for some. I do use Elmer in some of my projects, and it holds up really well, actually. But do your research. If you want to look up different kinds of papers, books, I highly recommend checking other stuff on my channel. I have a lot of different inspo projects. I also recommend checking just around on YouTube because there's so many now, and even Google. Google is very helpful because there's a lot of craft blogs too, and I think they're also very thorough and helpful as well. Oh, and really quick, I want to go ahead and mention what I got going on over here for this card. So I'm using foam tape to add the flower embellishments to the card because I just simply want to give my card more dimension. And I think it will look really good having some of the flowers stand out and protrude out and some of the flowers flat on paper. So that's what I have going on here at the moment, is me trying to add the flowers to this card. But that's my main tip, is to research. And I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next tip, which is to plan ahead. You need to plan your craft project ahead. I think it'll make it a lot easier and save a lot of time while you're working on your project. Now, when I say plan ahead, you don't have to do, a whole special kind of script planning or whatever. I simply just mean figure out what kind of project do you want to do, and then figure out what materials are needed for the project, how much will it cost, how much time it will take, and that'll help you determine, if you can do it or not. I do recommend for beginner crafters and scrapbookers, depending on what avenue of crafting you want to go into, to make sure you look up some videos first. Now, I'm still learning, so I can't help every crafter. Like if you're trying to do sewing and crocheting and stuff, I'm still trying to figure that stuff out. but I hope to show that on my channel one day soon. I'm more of a paper craft kind of girl, so I love planners and stickers and stationery and scrapbooking and making cards. Now I love making cards. I just got into card making and it's been a blast. I've had so much fun. So this is something that I just kind of threw together, but I think it comes out really good at the end. So I don't know. I really like it so far. But I do recommend you plan ahead. That's what I did for this card. I sat down and closed my eyes and said, what kind of card do I want to do? And then when I couldn't figure that out, I had to look around my craft room for different things. And that's when I saw my die cuts. And I don't know, it took off from there. I had ideas. So look at different things. Check on Pinterest. Why haven't I mentioned Pinterest in the beginning of the video? Pinterest will be your best friend when it comes to crafting and figuring stuff out. Plus, Pinterest is my favorite social because drama-free, everything's easy to find. The algorithm, it follows you, okay? The algorithm follows you. You will see everything that you actually want to see. Like, I love Pinterest. So I do recommend checking on Pinterest too. Duh, why didn't I mention Pinterest? My last tip is obviously to have fun. That's my last tip. I want to make sure that any craft that I do is fun. If I feel like it's not fun, it's for one or two reasons. Reason one is because I'm learning it, so sometimes it can be frustrating to try to understand and get it, and it might take a few tries. My husband taught me that if you're frustrated, you're learning. And that actually helped me through a lot of different things that I've encountered in my life that got on my nerves. And I don't know, shifting my mindset to tell myself I'm learning this, I will get it, it helped. So when it came to some of the crafts that I had to learn, it took a lot of trial and error. It took wasting materials, having to buy more materials. But at the end, I had fun putting it together. And now I learned a new skill. So make sure while you're learning all of this stuff to have fun. Don't overthink it. You have the avenues and the means and the resources to research it because everybody puts something out nowadays. So make sure you have fun with it. I can't stress that enough. I say that in every tip video that I put out is to have fun. But that's pretty much it for the tips. Really quick, I'm going to just go over them and then I'm going to let you guys just enjoy the rest of me putting this card together even though I'm almost done. So don't compare yourself to others. It's okay to make mistakes. Take advantage of sales and set a budget. Take advantage of full kits for your project. Research, plan ahead, and obviously have fun, duh. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to these tips. I'm going to go ahead and finish up this card and I would really love for you guys to stay and watch the full end result. And I will also show a montage and some close-ups at the end. So I'm going to finish this up. If you have any questions down below about what I'm using, let me know. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe down below and enjoy the card making. Y'all, I almost forgot. So here is the freebie color that I got. It's this pretty like rosy rose quartz color. and I wanted to use it in this card because I thought it would match the flowers perfectly. So now you get to see how I use it. So I'm just testing it below on the cloud, trying to figure it out. And then I realized when I opened it, oh, it's a stopper. So I had to get all that off first. But once I got it off, it was easy to use. So here I am using the pops of color, adding embellishments. One thing I would say is to be careful because it does come out really easily and you can easily mess up with this. So if you're trying to make cute tiny dots like me, be very careful and very light-handed when you use it. Now, it may not be a perfect circle. Some people asked about the chocolate chip shape. That personally does not bother me. So I just want to let you know really quick, like what you're dealing with when you use this. It is easy to use and actually I love it. All right, here's the end result of the card. First off, it's beautiful. I got rhinestones, I got cardstock, I got the pops of color, different textures of paper. Some of the flowers are protruding out while some of them are flat on paper. It's so pretty. I love how I did it. And the pop of color, I gave it about a good hour to dry. So it does have to dry. I almost forgot to mention that. So make sure you give it time for it to dry before you use it. But it gives a texture to the card. When you touch it, it's a certain texture to it. So I really love it. I love all the elements I used. Like, this is probably one of my best cards in my opinion. I think it's so pretty. I love it so much. I can't stop looking at it. And when I tell you, this card was really easy to make. Really easy to make. And actually, I want to say it could be very affordable too. You will just have to go on Amazon and get the die cuts. And you don't have to have a die cutting machine like I do. You can definitely get one of the cheaper die cutting machines. You don't have to get, yeah, that's my point. You can do this on a budget as well, but you might have to get some materials. But I really just wanted to show this card. I really enjoyed making it for National Scrapbooking Day. And now I'm going to go ahead and show a montage and a close-up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and make sure you subscribe down below for more.